Do you feel the vibes?
Hello everyone, how are you today? Let's complete the explanation of algebra for the third year of middle school with Mr. Ahmed Samir. Today's lesson is important as the second part of polynomial functions. Now let's start our session. We will learn in this session the quadratic function. The quadratic function is a polynomial function of the second degree, has a variable with power 2 or square. The standard form is f of x equals ax power 2, the power 2, plus bx plus c. A coefficient of x square, b the coefficient of x, and c constant number. A, b, c are numbers. X power 2, x variables. So the standard form f of x equals ax power 2 plus bx plus c. Now let's see some examples for the quadratic function, like f of x equals x power 2. The rule of the function is x power 2. X power 2 is a quadratic function of second degree. Number 2, f of x equals x power 2 minus 3. The greatest power in the rule is 2, so the function is quadratic. F of x equals 2x power 2 minus 5x plus 6. The highest or the greatest power of the variable is 2, so it is called quadratic function. The last one, f of x equals 4 minus x power 2 minus 2x. The greatest power here is 2, so it is called quadratic function. We know that at the right of the sign equal is called rule. X power 2 rule, x power 2 minus 3 rule. Now let's study the quadratic function and the graphical representation of it. Let's understand it by an example. Graph each of the following quadratic functions. Number 1, f to f of x equals x power 2. Talking x belongs to the period, the closed period, negative 3 and 3. Now we have givens in this example. The rule is x power 2 and the period negative 3 to 3. So x belongs to negative 3 and 3 means that the domain of the function is all the values of the period negative 3 to 3. Means 2, the values of x where it is replaced by it, so we will replace x by negative 3, negative 2, negative 1, 0, 1, 2, and 3, and we will get the corresponding values for f of x or y. We called it before as y. Then you will record the results in a table and graph the function. Let's see. Now let's study the first function. F of x equals x power 2, quadratic function. The first step, we will replace x by its values, the values of the period from negative 3 to 3. So the first value, negative 3, we will replace x by negative 3, will be negative 3 in brackets x power 2. We will replace any value for x in a bracket like this. Negative 3 power 2 equals 9. If we wrote it without brackets, will be negative 9. It is wrong. But you must write it in a bracket on the calculator. The second value, f of negative 2, we will replace x by negative 2 in a bracket. Negative 2 power 2 will be 4. By the same way, negative 1 power 2 equals 1. F of 0 equals 0. F of 1, 1. F of 2, 4. F of 3, 9. Now we can record the results in a table, or we can form an ordered pair from the value x and y. So the first ordered pair, negative 3 and 9, negative 2 and 4, negative 1 and 1, 0 with 0, 1, 1, 2, 4, 3, and 9. Now we have 7 ordered pairs. We can graph the function now, like this. In this table, we wrote the results, negative 3 and 9, negative 2, 4, negative 1, 1, 0, 0, 1, 1, 2 and 4, and 3 with 9. We will plot the point like this, negative 3 and 9 here, negative 2 and 4, negative 1, 1, 0 with 0, 1 with 1 here. The small points here, the small black points, 3 and 9. Remark now, you must draw it by the handwriting without rulers. You must graph it by your handwriting to be curved like this. The second function, f of x equals negative x power 2. Let's graph it. The first step, we will replace x by its values like this. F of negative 3 will be negative and bracket inside it, negative 3 power 2 by your calculator equal negative 9. By the same way, f of negative 2 equals negative 4, f of negative 1, negative 1, f of 0 equals 0. By the same way, we will get all the values of f of x or y. So the second step, we will record the result in a table like this, negative 3 with negative 9. By the same way to the last result, 3 with negative 9. Now we will graph the curve like this, negative 3 with negative 9, negative 2 with negative 4. By the same way, we will graph by the handwriting this curve. Now you can notice that if the sign of x power 2, if the sign of the term of x power 2 is positive, the curve will open upwards like this, open upwards. But if the sign of x power 2 is negative, the curve will open downwards like this. This important remark. Now we have some question for this curves. The first question, the point of the vertex of the curve. The point of the vertex. What is the vertex of the first curve here, the point of the vertex, this is the vertex of the curve, is 0 with 0, 0 and 0. The second question, the equation of the symmetric line of this curve. The symmetric line is divide any shape into two congruent halves, like this. The line y dash divides the curve into two congruent halves. This and this is two equal or congruent halves. So from the point of the vertex we can get the equation of the symmetric line. How? The projection of x is the equation of the symmetric line, and we will write it as x equals 0. If the first projection here is 2, the equation will be x equal 2. If in the first projection 5, so x will be 5. The third question, if the curve open upwards, then we have minimum value of the curve. The minimum value here is 0. You can get it from the point of the vertex. So from the point of the vertex we can get two values: the value of the equation of the symmetric line from x projection or x value, and the minimum value of the curve from y projection of the point of the vertex. By the same way, the second graph, the point of the vertex of the curve is 0 and 0. By the same way here, the point of the vertex, the first value here 0 is the equation of the symmetric line, like this. The equation of the symmetric line is 0, but in this case not minimum value. The value here is maximum. The maximum value is the second projection y equals 0. So the maximum value equals 0. Let's solve another question. Example, graph the curve of function f of x equals 9 minus x power 2. The rule here, 9 minus x power 2. Now I have a remark. The sign of x power 2 is negative, so the curve will open upwards or downwards. Will be downwards, will open downwards, because the sign of x power 2 is negative. And the period or the domain of the function, closed period -3 to 3, the values of x. Then from the graph determine the maximum value of the function and the equation of the axis of symmetry of the curve. The first step, we will replace or substitute by the period for x, like this. F of -3, 9 minus open bracket -3 power 2 equals 0. F of -2, 9 minus open bracket -2 power 2 equals 5. By the same way we can get all the values of f of x or y. If we substitute by x, the result will be y again. If we substitute by the value of x here -3, the result will be the value of y. The second step, record the results in a table like this: x, y, -3, 0 to the last value 3 and 0. The third step, graph the function like this: -3 and 0, -2 and 5, -1 and 8, 0 with 9, 1 and 8, 2 and 5, 3 with 0. Our graph is the outer graph here, not the inner, not this, but our graph is the outer by handwriting. Now determine the maximum value. The maximum value here is 9. The maximum value, first of all, I want the point of the vertex. The point of the vertex here at the red point is 0 and 9. The point of vertex 0 and 9. The maximum value is y value for the point of vertex. Then the maximum value is 9. And 0 here, x equals 0 is the equation of the axis of symmetry of the curve. Then the equation is x-axis, x equals 0, and the maximum value is 9. Now we finished our lesson today. Thank you for listening, and wait for me the next session, inshallah.